Hey guys, so I'm going to be answering some of the questions that I had in the Facebook group this week. And the first question is in regards to stretching. The question is, at this point, it seems like any stretching makes my hip leg and sciatica pain worse. This was not always the case, but ever since overdoing it at physical therapy in December/January, it just seems my hips and legs get inflamed so easily now. You seem to have some similar experiences yourself. When you felt like stretch and exercise made things worse, and what did you do? This is a fantastic question because I say this all the time. Just because you're stretching, it does not mean that you're improving things. In fact, you may actually be making things a little worse. The thing is, the muscle should not be stretched unless it needs to be stretched. And there are two types of muscles. There are muscles that actually tend to get tight, and there are muscles that tend to get weaker. The ones that tend to get tight are hip flexors, the quad muscles, the piriformis is another example. The muscles that tend to get really weak are the glute max, the core. So it's important to know, to know how these muscles behave so that you can target your stretching more intelligently. You want to kind of assess, just do like a mild stretch and see if you feel tightness. If you don't feel tightness, you don't need to be stretching that muscle. You need to actually be strengthening it, because chances are it's probably weak and it needs to be strengthened. So I do agree that the hip flexor muscles, they do tend to get tight. So you see a lot of people, they're stretching their hips all the time. But the problem is, if your glutes are weak and you're overstretching the hip flexors, your body is not going to respond to that stretch because there is an imbalance there, and you're trying to correct half of the imbalance and your body gets locked because your low back area needs to stay stable. So because the core, the glutes, which needs to stabilize the low back, are weak, your body needs to compensate for that. So it locks in anything around just so that it protects your low back. So you probably noticed this. You probably noticed that you stretch. 10 minutes after, it feels tight again and you have to stretch again. Because I experienced that too. I would be stretching all day at work, literally taking 5 minutes break so that I can go to the washroom again and stretch. It was just feeling tight all the time. And that's because of the imbalances happening. So instead of just stretching mindlessly, we have to see which muscles do actually need to be stretched, which muscles needs to be strengthened. So work on strengthening them. You'll notice that when you start strengthening, the tightness will go away on its own and you actually won't even need to stretch that much. And the same thing with exercise. So when we're experiencing these weaknesses, and there's a lot of weaknesses happening, and we're trying to exercise and do a movement, and the right muscles are not working. So you're trying to do a movement, but you're using all kinds of other muscles that are just kicking in to save the day, because if you're gonna do it wrong, you may injure yourself. So your body's just gonna, it's on survival mode at that time. You just want to get through the movement. So before you start exercising, you want to really start with easy, simple strengthening exercises that are low risk, feel safe for you, and they will help you to kind of gain back that muscle, that mind-muscle connection, to feel that you're working those muscles, and then get them strong again. And then once you get them strong again, you can move on to the next exercise and then the next exercise. So there are a lot of things to consider. But if you have been stretching for a long time, I really suggest that you take a break. I'm not saying never to stretch. Just take a break for a day or two to assess how your body is at this point. See if those muscles do need to be stretched. Like, if do you actually feel tightness there? And then if you do feel tightness, maybe ask, why am I feeling tightness? Like, what is going on here? Maybe my posture is really bad, that those muscles are getting really tight. Maybe I'm sitting all day in really bad posture. Maybe do some glute strengthening exercises and see how strong your glutes are. There are so many glute assessment videos on YouTube. I haven't made one myself yet, but I probably should add one soon. And one more tip is that when you're starting to do strengthening, I wouldn't advise you to throw in so many exercises at once. I will only advise you to start with 2 to 3 exercises, really simple exercises like the bridge, the clams, the side leg lifts, to strengthen the glutes, and then also do some abdominal breathing to get your core activated, really start with the basic things, and that will allow you to keep track of which exercises work, because if you're doing 10 at a time, you won't know which ones are good, and you won't know the ones that if, for example, if you get a flare-up afterwards, you won't know the ones that your body didn't respond well to. But if you only start with 1, 2, 3, it's very easy to keep track of how each exercise is making your body feel. So I really hope this helps. If this is not clear, please let me know below the video and I will try to clarify more about this. I do have some resources that I will link below as well about this, so that you could learn more about intelligent stretching, about strengthening, and really focusing on finding those imbalances and fixing them. The next question is again about stretching and also about cardio. Ashley is saying that I noticed that when I stretch and do the elliptical the next day, I experience flare-up. Is there a recommended frequency that we should be doing strength training and cardio? My issue is the Piriformis syndrome again. So again, like, how many times are you stretching? You know, are you stretching before the elliptical, or are you stretching after? Are you doing any strength training at all? I wouldn't stretch before cardio or strength training. I would do dynamic stretching with kind of a warm-up for the muscles. So you, before any activity, strength training, weightlifting, resistant body weight training, elliptical, any type of activity, you really want to be doing some dynamic warm-ups. Dynamic warm-ups will get your muscles warmed up, will get more blood circulation around the joints, so it will also help protect your joints. It really gets your body warmed up for that activity. If the muscles are stretched before, you have to understand that like static stretching, which is where you're holding the pose for a longer period of time, it cools down the muscles. It's a cool down. It's a cool down practice. So it's actually great before bed. So imagine you're doing it before a workout and then you're trying to work out. Your muscles are cold. You are kind of shocking them. They're not ready to be shocked. They're not ready for the challenge. It increases risk of injury. So I only recommend gentle stretching before if you really really tight, and for example you did heavy weight training the day before and then you're doing it again the next day and you're getting sore and your muscles are really like feeling tight. I would do gentle stretches, but I will still add some movement there to warm up the muscles. That's kind of the only exception where I would stretch before a workout. And I wouldn't really stretch directly the muscles that I will be working, you know. So focus on warming up the muscles and also focus on doing rehab. You know, rehab exercises only take 5 to 10 minutes before you can do them before your cardio. Rehab exercises are amazing. You know, they really help to protect the joints. You can do activation exercises as well before your cardio. They only take 5 to 10 minutes. And I really suggest that you do strength training as well, 3 to 4 times a week. You can do strength training before cardio, leave cardio at the end. And strength training, you can do it just with your body weight. You know, it really helps to strengthen the bones, the muscles, the joints. So it's something that you have to throw in there, because without really strengthening, there's going to be a lot of imbalances building up. And even if you don't feel them right now, like a lot of people, they don't feel the imbalances, but when they get older, they start seeing them, because the body just, you know, like your joints, they can't take it anymore if there's no stability around. You build stability through strength training. So I hope this helped to clarify a little bit of what you should do with your workout routine. I don't really know the details of your workout plan, but if I were you, I would definitely do some rehab exercises before my cardio, and maybe couple strength, glute strengthening exercises as well if I'm doing the elliptical. I would do stretching afterwards if needed again. You test and see which muscles feel tight. So that's it, guys. If you have any questions, don't forget to post them on the group and I will make a video to answer them. But thank you again for watching, and I will see you guys next time.